What's up, y'all? Erroneous here, back with a quick Raid Shadow Legends video. We've got the Fusion Granite going on, and currently we do have the event for the Summon Rush. Took a look at it this morning when I first got up, and I was just like, goodness gracious. This is a filthy event. 7 Sacreds to get just the rare. Just the rare. And then 12 Sacreds if you want to go for Hilda Arnondottir. That is the epic. That is insane to me. I think that's disgusting. I think this is the most they've ever done for an epic, if I'm not mistaken. 12 Sacreds. I was really considering going for this. I was hoping they'd make the epic like 8 Sacreds, which is still a lot, by the way. Even 9 Sacreds. That would be, what, 4,500? That's still a lot. I feel like 9 Sacreds would have been fair. But damn, 12 Sacreds. I do have exactly 12 Sacreds. I'm putting my conspiracy hat on. And this morning, I woke up, pulled my Ultra Nightmare chest, and guess what? I got exactly 2 Sacreds. I was at 10 Sacreds, and I got 2 from Ultra Nightmare, which never happens typically to me. Maybe once every couple of months or so, maybe once a month or two. But it normally happens during a fusion. It normally happens when it's the day of or the day before a fusion, summon rush, or champion chase. Now, I can't say that's actually why it happens. I can only say I've got my tinfoil hat on. Not actually, but you know what I mean. This is it's just very coincidental. That's all I have to say. But regardless, the champions themselves are fairly strong. If I were to go and pull my Sacreds, I would definitely go for this guy right here, Admiral Blacktusk. Looks super cool, and he is the Unity champion. He brings increased accuracy and speed only to dwarves by 15%. And then really cool ability of his is placing Stone Skin with 3 faction allies. So if you have 3 dwarves, which of course the dwarf that's for the fusion could be a part of it, he would be your nuker. Then you would add Admiral Blacktusk as well, and then you would add Granite, and then you would add 2 other dwarves, probably Senna if you have her, which is insane speed champion. She just keeps on buffing and boosting turn meter constantly on your team. It would actually be a very interesting arena team setup with those 3. And of course, the 4th one could be whatever you choose. I just can't think of off the top of my head. If you have maybe the Fjorid or Fralny mythicals, you could put them in. But Fjorid, I think, needs a rework. I think he doesn't hit very hard for a mythical hero. He does have good chances to place freeze, which is great. But the issue is just, it's not consistent. He can get sheeped. He can get wanded. You know, there's too much that happens to him where he's just not going to be beneficial in arena, in my opinion. And I never, ever see him in arena. Then you've got other champions and heroes here. You could also throw in an Underpriest with as the 4th. You could throw in a Tholen as a 2nd DPS. You could throw in a Tormund. He's also good. I mean, honestly, I'd probably pick Tormund over Fjorid most of the time anyways in arena, which is sad because Fjorid is a mythical. Then you've got Trunda, who's not really an arena champion anymore, but for PvE, maybe she would be pretty good, especially with the Stone Skin. Now, keep in mind that the Admiral Blacktusk, when he places on an ability Stone Skin, this Stone Skin can still be removed and does not have that 50-50 chance like it would be from the gear set. Okay, so keep that in mind. But it's still strong, regardless, still strong. Because if you have someone in Lightning Cage, say, for example, you got Granite as the fusion, and then you put Lightning Cage on him, and it's a high blessing, and more than likely they're going to bring out a 5-star blessing for this guy. It's just a matter of how they're going to do it. Are they going to do it? Usually they do it in a Deck of Fate style event or a Titan event, things like that. Or they have, I forget the name of the event off the top of my head, but it's where you go down each path. Oh, literally it's called Path Event. Okay, so... But yeah, so it's a path event that you could do as well. So 3 different types of events. They could throw in a 5-star blessing for Granite potentially. So yeah, should you go for this guy now that we know it's 12 sacreds just to get his epic champion. I mean, it's up to you, really. I don't know. A lot of people are just going to pull out at this point. I feel like a lot of people are just pulling out. And I honestly would urge most people to just pull out if you're not going to go for it, unless you're just going for the rare. But even the rare being 7 sacred shards. Now, I'm not saying you have to pull sacreds. You could pull other shards too. But keep in mind, ancient shards are only 20 points each. Voids are 120. And then the primals are 200. Unless they boosted the rates. Yeah, so 20 per ancient, 120 per void, 200 per primal, 500 per sacred. Sacreds are just the best bang for your buck here. Now, it would just be a waste to pull your ancients. You really want to save your ancients, if possible, for a champion chase. We have more to pull, typically, of ancients. It's easier to save ancients than it is to save any other shard. Now, you could also go to the fusions here for Relic Keeper or Broadmaw for the champion chase. You could also do champ chase with remnant shards. And I find it interesting that they still haven't added remnant shards to the summon rush portion of this game. I do believe they should add remnant shards if they're going to keep on inflating and inflating and inflating how many shards you need to pull for each of the fusions that they're going to be bringing out. Because at this point, the next fusion is probably going to be bad, most likely. If they do back-to-back really good fusions, it's going to be hard on people's resources. So they're more than likely going to have a next fusion be a bad fusion. So you can skip that fusion. But some people are just now skipping multiple fusions. And then in that case, it's like, why would a company want to keep putting bad fusions in, or keep on adding a fusion that's good with a really strong collaboration hero consistently now? Or at least they're just starting this out. But it could happen more consistently as time goes on. Then the reality is they're trying to do their best to get some money from people, which makes sense because they are a company, they're a business, right? They have to make money to push their game forward into the future, add new game modes, add new boss mechanics, add new heroes. All this costs money, right? Marketing campaigns, a new video concept, new artwork, things like that. So they have to have money in order to push the game forward. But regardless, I digress. But just in general, the sacreds are ridiculous. How many you have to pull? I, for one, am probably going to wait until Sunday now. Today's Friday at the time of this recording. So I'm going to wait till Sunday, determine whether or not it will be best to pull for this guy. Honestly, if you're going to go for Leo, like most people are going for, you're probably best off just not pulling any of your shards at all. That would be the best bet for me as well. The part that stumps me and why I'm a little bit frustrated is because during CVC, we won our CVC. I got about 2,400 energy, which I already utilized all that energy to complete the Dungeon Divers, Dragon, and all the events. So I can skip out on, or at least I have 2 days to compile a bunch of energy from rewards and whatnot. So I can, and I want to complete the champ training as well. So I did use some of that energy for champ training. I do want to get these primal quartz, and I'm also interested in getting the 4-star basalt because they're so hard to come by. If I get 70 primal quartz, I'll be really close to another primal shard, which is also beneficial for future summon rush or champion chase events. But yeah, I'm going to wait just to see. Maybe there'll be more news on whether or not Leo is coming out this week. Liplarium did say that, hey, keep in mind, those leaked info might not actually be true. The dates that it says in the leaked info about when Leo is going to be coming out for an event might not be true. They might do it sooner rather than later. They could do it next week. They could literally do it next week. So next week, I'm just taking a look here, the 28th to the 4th. They could potentially do a Leo event any day next week and make it sooner rather than later. Why am I saying they could do that? Well, because if you're going for this fusion, and if I go for this fusion for the summon rush and I pull 12 shards for the epic, I will not have any shards or possibly not have enough resources because of all the sacreds if they do a summon rush event for Leo. Majority of the time when they do an event for a collaboration champion or a champion that's really strong, they don't typically do a champion chase. They usually do a summon rush, which means you have to have the strongest shards on your account in order to get the points you need to get the champion. Yeah, I'm a little bit torn. If possible, I'll wait till Sunday. They might have info come out that says, hey, Leo is going to come out next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. If that's the case and he's coming out sooner, the 7th that they originally said on the leaked info is a Tuesday in about almost 2 weeks from now, on the 7th of October. So keep in mind, we might not have that time. It might be next week. It might be the 7th. It might be the 14th. It might be later into October. We don't know that. So just keep that in mind. I do recommend waiting if you're really wanting to go for this guy. Don't pull all your shards today. Just wait till Sunday. See if there's news that comes out and pull on Sunday. But if you're only waiting because of the progressive chance, just keep in mind we have 2 days and 17 hours for the progressive as well, which coincides directly with this event. So yeah, I'm going to wait. That's my thought process. It just stinks because I already spent all the energy on the events and tournaments that I have. So it sort of entices you a little bit to want to go for the hero, the champion, because you've already spent all those resources, those hard-earned resources, especially from CVC, which I could have used those resources towards masteries for champions. I could have used it for simply Sand Devil, or I could have used it for the current event for the Shredder's Path, as an example as well. You know, we got the Shredder's Wrath going on, and I could get it at Immortal. Could have used it there, which I would have gotten it pretty quickly. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it now. Anyways, that's going to be my thoughts on the topic of getting Granite. What are you guys thinking? Leave your thoughts down below. Are you going to be still going for Granite? Did you pull out completely from getting Granite? Honestly, considering that myself, just because of the fact that they made it incredibly hard to get the epic for this fusion. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on a video soon. Take care.